Hi, if you're like me, you've had to use these for a lot of things in the back of the ambulance. I've used it for some pretty nasty things. Well, today we're going to show you a new product that's going to make your life a little bit easier in the back of the ambulance, and then you'll get to use these for what they were made for. I'm Chris Montera, and this is the Innovation Zone. As a paramedic for 20 years, sometimes I find that people puke. And let's be honest, people puke a lot sometimes. So most of the time I'm in the house and you're just trying to find a trash can. You really don't know what to do. They're puking on your feet. They're puking on the dog. You just don't know what to do. You run out, you grab this off the shelf because this is quite honestly all we have. It holds 5 liters, but what happens when the person's puking all the way from the house to the hospital? This thing gets full. What do you do with it? Do you dump it in the wheel well? It's sloshing everywhere. You put it on the floor. Inevitably, you're going to probably put your foot in it, and that's just going to be gooey and smelly. And it just isn't very practical. We've just been using this forever because that's kind of what we do. Well, we have an innovative product here that I'd love to show you. It's right in my back pocket. It's very portable. You could have these in your cargo pants. You could carry 2 with you if you wanted. But when a person starts to puke or they get that urge, this thing's quickly deployable. It's called the Hurl-e bag. And the Hurl-e bag, not only is it about the puking, and we're going to talk about another use here in a minute, but it is really neat. I have one open here. I'm going to show it to you. So you can have 4, 5, 10 of these on the shelf. That replaces the size of this. The nice thing about the Hurl-e bag is a couple things. One, it's not clear. So whatever they're puking, you don't have to feel bad about seeing, the chili dog from yesterday. But you can also, the patient doesn't have to feel bad about it either because they're puking kind of privately. So that's one piece of this, is that the patient can puke privately. They can actually have a shield. Especially elderly adults and young kids really like to have a little bit of privacy when they're throwing up. Another neat benefit of the product is you can use the Hurl-e hands-free. It's really neat because you can, sometimes you have patients that are puking and then they need to rest and they need to lay back, and so then you're kind of off guard. You just put this thing to the side and then they start to puke again, and before you know it, they've puked all over, again, themselves or the cot or whatever, and you can't get it back in place fast enough. Or maybe they're just too tired and they're holding it in their lap, it's sloshing around, and you go around the corner, it spills. You don't want that to happen. So the Hurl-e can be used hands-free, and it has this integrated strap. So the bib system here actually goes up and under the chin, and then the strap goes right around. A very secure piece of tape holds this on. It's not, trust me, that's not flimsy. I couldn't even get it off earlier. It was really tight. And so you put it on there and they can be laying back and they can be relaxing, and then all of a sudden they have that urge to puke again. They go right here, right back into where they were, and you're not struggling to get something. And then if it fills up, you just pull it off, put a new one right back on, and the patient's ready to go. And that creates the ability for the patient to have hands-free puking. But then, let's say this thing gets full. What am I going to do now? It has a couple neat features. One, there's deployable tabs on the side that you can kind of roll it up like your lunchbox. Now, don't eat it. Make sure that you take it and throw it away immediately after. But you can set it down. It's not going to, after you've closed it up, it's not going to slosh everywhere like this thing. You could also set it on the floor. You could put it in the wheel well, so it's kind of in its own place. And when you're done with the call, it's all rolled up, nicely sealed. You put it right in the biohazard container, and it's done. The other neat thing about the Hurl-e thing is it's not just for puke. One of the neat uses I think we could really find in our industry is now you have something that you have right in your back pocket, and maybe you have an amputated limb. Maybe you have a piece of a finger or something you need to pick up in a house. Most of the time we're like, I guess I'm going to take my glove off or pull a glove out of my pocket. Well, now we have a way that we're reminded that it's orange, it's very bright, we're not going to miss it, and you can write on it. You can use a Sharpie and say, this is the amputated left finger or whatever, and hold it, throw an ice pack in there or whatever, and make it nice and keep it cool on the way to the hospital. So now here you have another way to store things that are kind of gross, and you might need to. So it's this or this. You can't carry this in your pocket. You can carry this in your pocket. Easily deployable, easy to clean up, and it's really easy to use. The Hurl-e bag.